All right. I guess I'm live. Hey, now, yeah, I'm live now. But anyway, I don't have nothing really to do. All of my other videos for the last couple of months, I'm doing videos on the original. If you listen to me, I'm talking about our origin and our original, where we descend from, And I talked a little bit about the judgment, and I talked a little bit about the things that I have learned about judging and how the Most High gonna judge nations. He don't judge people based upon. It's not about the skin color, but it's about him judging a nation. And we talked about who that nation was. I kind of went through some of the things. I didn't go through it all because I have so much to give. Talking about judging the wicked people of this nation, judging the Babylon, which is America, and we know who that America refers to, is the people called Adulium. I think I'm saying it right. Adolium, which is Edom. It's another word for progenitor for the so-called Caucasian people. If you looked at a lot of my videos, I talked about a lot about that, how the Most High separates, and basically our origin of who we are, who we really are, because we are the only people on planet that don't know who we are. You know what I mean? We don't. All the other nationalities and all the other races of people, they know where they descend from. If you ask an Asian person who they is, they gonna tell you Asian, because I experienced that. I did. I think I said, "What are y'all, Mexican or something?" Said, "No, we Asian." See, they can tell you where they from, but if you ask us as a people of color where we from, we gonna tell you African American and black, or either black. And then I like how the brothers broke that down. They said, well, if you black, where can you trace black back to? You know what I'm saying? Because I used to say that years ago, maybe approximately about 5 years ago, I used to call and say, if you go back and look at my old videos, I was calling us African because I thought we descend from Africa, but I really came to a conclusion that we did not descend from Africa. We are not African. We was, you know what I mean? We were so rounded up. They helped rounded us up and sold us to America, or so-called America, the white man, stuff like that. So I went off I've been talking about this for the last maybe a few months, maybe a few months now, because I just recently got backing off into this here because, we have lost our heritage. I grew up, and like I said, I would say African American, African American, African. I would say African American men and women. I would say that. I think I found somebody came where I was working at in Popeyes. I used to work there, and they had a lady came in there and said she don't call herself no African American. Say when she put a job out, fill out her application, she don't put no African American. She says, I think she says she just put a child of God. I thought of that in 2014, but I wasn't really, I really didn't know anything too much about still where we descend from. I really didn't. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I really didn't know then. But I found more out recently since I've been watching the brothers who actually stick to the scrolls, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I realized I couldn't believe that I actually missed a lot of information. You know what I mean? You know how you grow up and you thinking you fully understand everything, but you really realize that you actually didn't know yourself nothing. Well, that's same thought with me. I grew up believing and thinking that I was 100%. I'm not saying that I was wrong in some areas. I was right in some areas, but I didn't have the full of the knowledge of what I should have known. You know, when it came to America, when it let, you know what I mean. I want to explain that to y'all. Like, how did I feel when I first came and got deeper into this here? When I first heard different things that I didn't know and didn't understand. Well, let me go ahead and tell you. I really didn't. It just resonated with my spirit. You know what I mean? Because I always have been the type to seek knowledge. I always have been like that from age 6, 7 on up. I always have would ask questions. You know, I was always wondering. I was always a curious individual. You know, so I was seeking for something that I did not know what it was because I was always that type of person to ask questions about something that you know that's how you learn. You know you ain't gonna know until you ask. See, a lot of us feel shame is to even ask questions. I think that might have been part of my problem too. People shame me into not asking. I mean, not saying that they actually did, but when you ask a person a question, sometimes some people ain't patient enough to say, "Well, I didn't explain it once. I ain't going back over." You know what I mean? Some kids experience that. You know what I mean? Because some people feel like if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, I explained it one time. You get it, then that's your problem. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you go to school for. If you don't know something, you ask somebody. So that's where I always have been. I always ask questions. You see what I'm saying? And that person can learn. But people that don't ask questions and that don't care about asking questions, then those are the ones that's just going to remain blind. You know what I mean? I was always one of those. I ask questions. I want to know. I'm one of those guys. If I don't understand something, then I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm not gonna sit there and argue and debate you over that. I'm just gonna be like, well, okay, let me go and look this up. Can you give me some documents where I can go and look this stuff up? Because what you're saying, uh, I need to see. You know, I need to give me something to do some research on. So that's the type of person I always have been. You know what I mean? I always been the type that where I ask questions, you know what I mean? Like when I first, those of you guys who wondering about me too, about I speak on some of the things that I speak on, and it seems harsh. It seems like a harsh judgment when I be talking about some of the things and I think that's where a lot of people get the brothers that be on the street out there. You know what I mean? They look at them people and they call them a cult. You know what I mean? Why would they call them a cult? That's what I'm saying. All they got to do is just go through one little simple word. It's called research. You know what I mean? Because ask yourself this question: why would they not ask? Why? Okay, why would they be making this up? You see what I'm saying? Why would they make this up? So when I first heard it, how did I feel about it? I knew that when we was being as a nation of people of color, as a nation, I knew it was something was. I couldn't figure out what it was, but I knew something wasn't right. That's all I can explain to you. I just felt something in me was missing, and something just wasn't completed. When I was at church, when I would go to a sanctuary, because I used to be a Seventh Adventist. Now, not saying that some of the things that was taught was wrong, like as far as when it comes to the right day of going to church on the Sabbath and the diet. Oh, absolutely, they are on point on that. You know what I mean? And I appreciate the guidance that the leaders gave me to the best of their ability. I'm not gonna say that everybody in there is like wrong and trying to condemn people to hell and stuff. No, that's not what I'm here to do. So this goes out to uh, my faithful brothers and sisters who are in the Adventist faith, who are teaching God's, the Most High's words and His principles. You know, I salute them for that, because if it had not been for them, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have now. Really, I would. I just took and just learned some extra knowledge and put everything in its proper context. So if it had not been for the guidance that I've had in the past through by the elders who led and guided me and gave me scripture based upon Sabbath and eating right and stuff, then I wouldn't be where I am right now today. So I salute them on that part. But as far as teaching you about the nationality, your Edomite, Idumean, the so-called progenitor of the white race and stuff like that, and Esau in the Bible, and Jacob in the Hebrew and all that, was our language was stripped of us. No, I don't remember getting that when I was in the faith. Now I'm not holding that against them, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the people in the Adventist faith just don't know, just like I didn't know. You see what I'm saying? So now, don't get me wrong, some people probably do know. So I'm only talking to the people, speaking in an innocent way and a loving way, based upon to the people that don't know. Because a lot of, because see, look, just like I didn't know, you know what I mean? A lot of them, I salute the ones that's actually, since that is actually loving God, and respecting their God, and respecting the laws of God, respecting the laws of the Most High to the best of their ability. I salute them and I applaud them for that. But the ones, those that do know, if they know, they're gonna be held full accountable if they do know and still continue to go in that dark direction. You see what I'm saying? So this is no condemnation to those who don't know, those who are actually loving their families, taking care of their children. You know, because you have you have some men, they take care of their families. You have some women, they take care of their families. They keep us at home and stuff like that in the Adventist faith. So I salute to those sisters and those brothers who doing the best they can to take care of their families and their children and stuff like that. I'm not talking about them who are part of whatever faith that they're in. I'm talking about, I'm condemning the system that knows, not them. You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference. So I don't want nobody to look at this video and be like, oh, he done jumped over to you know, because people in their mind, they quick to do that because we are so used to being followed a call. I don't want people to look at this video and be like, oh, well, you know, he's a Hebrew Israelite, he's jumping from one thing to another. No, I don't want people to have that thought in their mind like that, I'm jumping. I want them to see it as somebody who's growing in knowledge, growing in understanding, something that we didn't know that our eyes been open to. You see what I'm saying? But I salute those who have gave me some truth according to the best of their ability. I salute and love them and honor them for that. You know what I mean? But when it comes to certain things, like as far as our heritage, where we descend from, our land, Jerusalem is our land, and the so-called red man is oppressing us, and which is true. And you go to Deuteronomy, and we fit all those curses over that. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. So uh, I just didn't get the breakdowns the way that I did, but I am in no ways condemning a lot of the sincere people who actually love God with all their heart. You know what I mean? The Most High even accepts us, even if we take and dip in a mop in a toilet bowl and call ourselves mopping the kitchen floor. It's like God will accept your sincerity if you don't know, if you're doing it out of love and ignorance. If you don't ignorant, the word ignorant simply means you don't know. God will accept a 3-year-old who's dipping a dish towel in the toilet bowl and cleaning the wiping the tables. God accepts that sincerity and purpose of integrity, because you have a lot of people do that with integrity. But when something is brought to your knowledge, he only holds you for what you know. He don't hold nothing against you that you don't know. So I want to make sure I get that clear out the way. You know what I mean? That so nobody won't come and say that I'm condemning other people. I'm condemning. No, I'm only condemning the system. Who knows better? I'm condemning the lies, not them. It's a difference in between condemning the lies and condemning the individual person. No, I don't condemn them. I just condemn the people who willfully lie, who willfully break the Most High's laws and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? I'm condemning that. Now I ain't pointing out a bunch of scripts today. I just wanted to take time. Well, I should have been doing that, but I decided to just make a video to try to see if I can actually stay on topic as well. But I'm seeking to learn more, and I do believe in my heart that is being led in the right direction. I do believe that I found that I won't have to look no further, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because the information that I have now versus years ago when I was reading the Bible, I was you know what I'm saying? I just didn't have no idea. You know what I mean? But I do know that to a degree that we was hated by the European, we was hated, but I did not understand all of the history behind it. I did not know the history of Thanksgiving. I did not know the history of Christmas, where it came from, like mistletoe, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna look into some stuff like that more today, and I'm gonna give you the reason why we celebrate December 25th. Where did December 25th come from? Who is we honoring? Is it the rebirth of the sun god, and anything to do with the Most High? And those are the things that are very important, and we have to know. We need to know why we follow what we follow, and why you speak on what you speak on, and why you stand on it. That's important. So I'm gonna get more off into that later on today. And I did a video about that last night. I went to, did I go to, yeah, I did go to some scripts. How you hear things all your life, like separation and stuff. And we often say that God, the Most High, is not about separating and stuff. But if you actually go into the deep history of it, you'll find out that the Most High does separate. When you look at history and when you look at the Bible, when you look at those different things, it actually confirms that, he does separate. It's just that people we have been it's just that the biblical information has been mistaught. That's all. People have taught it to us wrong. It's nothing wrong with the Bible. It's just that people taught it to us wrong. You know what I mean? And until we recognize that we was taught wrong and recognize that there is a right way is to teach it, then we will never come to the light. But until we recognize that we have been mistaught and own up to the fact that we have been mistaught, that is, once we acknowledge that we have been mistaught the Bible, and we have been misinformed, and it has not been taught right. When we come to that conclusion, recognize that, then we can actually grow. You see what I'm saying? So that's the type of state of mind that I was in, because let me tell you how I was interpreting Genesis 25 and 25, where it says, Jacob have I loved. Jacob and Esau. Jacob came out, he was a plain man. Esau, it says that Esau came out red all over like a hairy garment, and his name was called Esau. Edom means red. You know what I mean? That's another name for the so-called Caucasian people. And they call them Caucasian because they was in the Caucasus Mountain, Russia, Georgia. That's why they call them Caucasian, because they was in the Caucasus Mountain, because there was a lot of slavery back in the day here in Georgia. You see what I'm saying? Like this town where I'm living in now, it was called years ago, back in the 50s and 60s. It was called the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan. That's all it was here. That's why it's so prejudiced, and that's why so many people in the South and in the West Jamaican people. That's why you have the West Jamaican people. We are so divided. That's why you have Spain is so divided. The Mexican people. We need to understand. Y'all know where Hispanic come from? The land of Spain. They went over there and they took the land of Spain, stole their culture, stole all of that, and that's why they call it Hispanic, because Hispanic. That's where the name Mexican Hispanic come from Spain, Spaniard, because the Arabs took and script Arab, that they were the first ones. Do y'all know that the Hispanic people was enslaved first before we became enslaved? Y'all know this, right? Because they went over there and they conquered Spaniard. You know what I mean? And then they turned around and gave them another name. That's why they say Hispanic, symbolic of conquering. They have conquered and took their land. Hispanic, and they went over in Spain and took their land. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show you all some information on that later on. What we have to understand is that all these names symbolic of conquering, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all that kind of stuff. All these names they gave when the Europeans and the Germans came over here and conquered the indigenous Indians over here, they took and they gave themselves names after that. They named themselves after that conquering name when they came and conquered the native Indians over here. They took and they gave them different names symbolic of their conquering. They overcame the good and triumphed and evil triumphed. Evil triumphed. And good was trampled underfoot. You see what I'm saying? Evil got the victory, and good, it simply crumbled and triumphed. You see what I'm saying? So they celebrated the Europeans and the Germans celebrated that when they would come together and celebrate Thanksgiving. They didn't celebrate it in the sense of that they love the indigenous Indians. They celebrated in a sense where it's symbolic of their overcoming the and killed a lot of the Jews over here. And they said each turkey that they sat down and consumed, the indigenous Indians did. Each turkey that they consumed, they celebrated a Thanksgiving symbolic of their conquering the native Indians and killed a lot of our people. So that's the reason why we don't understand why they celebrate that. And that's why we got that happened the first time when Leosippus Anaconus came to America in 1492. That's where it started at in 1492. And that's when they came over and made some treaties with the Indians. And then they turned around and they killed a lot of the natives to Indians. They made over 5,000 treaties with the Indians. And once they made over 5,000 treaties with the Indians, then they decide what they'll do. They say, well, we're gonna conquer the native to Indian. So when they said they put Thanksgiving in place to symbolic that we have conquered the Indians. We have conquered the indigenous real Jews over here. We stole their land and all that kind of stuff. So that's the reason why that's part of the reason why you celebrate the turkey, eating the turkey and stuff like that. Because each turkey represents the body of the slaughter of the native indigenous Indians over here, of our people. That's what that is. So when you celebrate that, you're honoring and celebrating the European, the so-called white man, killing of your own people, because we are the product of those Indians. Yeah, so that's what you're doing when you celebrate Thanksgiving. A lot of people don't know the history behind celebrating Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna try all I can is to pull up more information on that, and I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and close the video out right now, and I'm gonna say peace and love to my people of color. Stay tuned. I don't know what I'm gonna name this video. My story, some of my story life. I'm gonna come back and talk to y'all, but it's gonna be entitled "My Story Life of How I Was Converted and Got a Better Understanding of My History." My experience of how I was converted and got a better understanding of my history. Okay, let me make sure I say it again. My conversion experience of how I got a deeper understanding of my roots. My conversion of how I got a deeper understanding of my history roots. My conversion and how I got a deeper understanding of my history roots. All right, I'm out. That's the name of the video. Peace.